Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, part of the Furniture with me, Daniel. It's season 19, episode 7, and today we continue our hunt for trophies in our final season of this series as we try to cement our legacy in Torquay and English football's history. So it's the Carabao Cup Final against Liverpool we're back for, a side that have done pretty well so far this season, but I have unfortunately slipped off the rails in recent weeks. I don't know if it was in preparation for this final. We're in decent form ourselves again, despite a disappointing defeat in yesterday's episode, and we're now 5 points clear of Manchester United, with one game in hand at the top of the league table. Just 14 conceded in 27 games. Defensively we've been back to our best this season, and although we've not scored quite as fluently as we did last year, we're still top of the table in the Premier League for that. We've got Alex Andrade putting most of them in, 22 goals for him already this season, and after a long injury due to a hernia, Omar's back in centre midfield today, and he's our biggest big game player of them all, so fingers crossed he'll be able to contribute assists, or at least a very good performance. We're past the January window, so we will go and look at that. No excitement at all, but just to confirm what we've done. But first, we'll also go and have a quick look at our recent results to see why we're in the position we're in. So you're with me for the defeat against Tottenham towards the end of January in the Premier League, and I'm delighted to report we are unbeaten since. 2 draws against 2 of the bigger money sides in the Premier League, a home to Liverpool, a disappointing 0-0, and a good one away to City in the last Premier League game. Between those, we had 3 successive victories, firstly at home to Fulham in the Premier League, Laurent Brunet and Luca Wagner with a goal in each half, a solid result to get back to winning ways after a couple of games, even though it wasn't the most polished performance. It was, however, against Bournemouth, a brilliant 5-0 victory in that one, and a former player really helped us out here. We were 1-0 up early on due to a Malik Kante goal, and then our former number 10 David Crawford got sent off, now 32 years of age. He's been at Bournemouth for a few years, after spells at Wolves and Celtic, and he got sent off after 20 minutes, allowing us to really overrun the away side in the second half. Backing us with an early second half penalty, Andrade managed to fill his boots with a brace, and Maddie Cater back in the team and back amongst the scorers. He's certainly worked his place back into first team contention. Then away to Dundalk in the Champions League knockout round, a really good performance by the home side actually. We weren't confident to make changes as it really was looking a little bit tight towards the end, but we did rest nearly all of our first team players and still managed to get a 1-0 win. So Bruno Moraes with a goal, one of his classic tap-ins on the goal line from a corner, and it's enough to give us the away goal and a lead for the second leg, so I'm pretty confident we'll be able to get through now. Then obviously we mentioned a 0-0 draw at City, which was followed in the last game by the FA Cup 5th round. Again we rested everyone in preparation for this weekend, and Diogo Sousa managed to get us the winner. The big concern is still unfortunately Marco Gracia, the man we paid nearly £80 million for last season. He did come to his own towards the end of the year, but in the Premier League he's now scored 3 goals in 43 games for us, and that's something that's of real concern, particularly as this year most of them have been starts. So he has been traditionally a very good player in the Champions League, scored in the final and both legs of the semi last year, but he really has not performed in other competitions, and that is starting to become a cause for concern. If we were playing for another year after this, I'd probably think about replacing him, but as it is, we'll just try and get through to the end of the season. Liverpool have got a player cup tied and one doubtful with a stubbed toe today, but there's no really big injury news on either side, so fingers crossed both sides will be at their best, and at least we'll get to see an entertaining game at Wembley. If we go quickly to the transfer screen so you can see what's happened in the window, we mentioned Priesler in the last one, who will be joining the club in January 2038, and we also mentioned the loan out of James Smith. He's gone to Borussia Mönchengladbach, where he's currently doing quite well after 5 appearances. Not got a good average rating, but his development continues to improve. Aside from that, however, it has been a really boring January window, nothing since the last episode, and nothing in terms of ins anyway. So let's go through to the fixture and get into this cup final. Of course, a chance to add to the Club World Championship and the European Super Cup, which we've won this season. We did also lose in the Community Shield final, and fingers crossed we can't throw away the Premier League either. We've still got a chance in the FA Cup and Champions League, so if we can get further clear in the Premier League, we will start to focus on those, but I've said that a couple of times and our form's dipped off, so I think the Premier League will push us a little more. We're very slight favourites, but both teams in good form. Liverpool marked as inconsistent, but that's only because they lost their last game. They're managed by Alvaro and they've got a good side, and after a pretty strong start to the season, I think they'll give us a stern test today. In terms of our lineup though, I've sort of bottled it a little bit. I've gone back to the tried and trusted rather than the players I've been trying to put in the first 11 this year. So we've got Stojanovic in goal as the sweeper keeper, Cura and Wagner the fullbacks, and Singy stays in the first team alongside McDonnell, which was always going to happen when he ended his unhappiness. And then Bacanes is joined by Omar and Maddie Cater in central midfield. Kante's been playing well for us all year, but Cater's come back on absolute fire. So we're going to give him a chance in the final. He's never let us down in a big game before. Yaladian and Silla are on the wings. Silla coming in for Lee Kant, who has been first choice in recent months. He's also got a slightly better average rating this year, although neither of them have gone and set the world alight. And then Alex Andrade is on his own up front, 22 goals, and we'll be hoping he adds to it. I almost put Brown on the bench instead of Gracia, not quite matched for either since his injury, but we are going to stick the faith in him as he did score in some cup finals last year. So let's go and get into this game against Liverpool. We'll stick with our usual tactic now. We used to talk in our early Premier League years about changing our mentality and duties, but in these games we don't need to do it now, as we've always got the superior side. They've got Sandoval, the £150 million man in the team. Gasepa, the number 10, did well against us this year, but we still fancy our chances to do well in this one, and we're going to tell them to do it for the supporters, just as Stuart Jellings recommended. Luca Wagner looks stressed, and that's a little bit of a concern for our best player, so we're just going to see if we can calm his nerves. I've got faith in him to go and make a difference. He's now motivated, which is exactly what we want, and let's hope they can all react with good performances. Maddie Cater's the other lad who's motivated, so maybe it was the right decision to put him in the team. Of course I can't say that until we see his performance, as we keep possession well from the kick-off. It's Omar back to McDonnell, the centre half. I'm sure this highlight will end without incident. It does as Wagner passes out to the wing, but now we're back with a corner for Omar. McDonnell knocks it down, he's found his way in. I did not expect that to be a goal. What a delivery from Omar. The big game player gets an assist again. McDonnell heads it. It was pretty feeble to the near post, but it was right in that top corner, and although the keeper got a hand to it, he just couldn't keep it out, and it's the perfect start for Torquay. It's Omar again in the opposition half, bringing it forward to Silla on the left, cuts into Yaladian who shoots, it's in again! What a goal by Yaladian! Boubacar Silla with the assist, the two players we talked about playing, Omar back into the first team, what a fantastic result for him, and now we've defended a corner well, and Cater gets the ball away. Then Silla was the other one we didn't know about, he cut in and played an assist there, and now Cater's in and scores! All of the players we didn't know whether to pick, all the tactical decisions we made, Cater instead of Kante, Silla instead of Kant, and they have paid dividends in this one. We're 3-0 up in 9 minutes. We've won the Carabao Cup already. What a fantastic performance it's been. Wagner into the box is deflecting around. Liverpool are all over the place. Yaladian tries to put it in but it's cleared, and Cater finds Cura who's attacking. Tries to go through but it's intercepted, and we can all take a breath after that remarkable 10 minutes. We've not even had 40% possession. Liverpool haven't managed a shot though. Sandoval tries to change that there, but Stojanovic is brilliant in the goal, tipping the ball behind for a corner. I'm so pleased after talking about the decisions we've made. We went back to tried and trusted despite recent form, and it has paid off for me in the first 10 here. Cater scoring an absolute screamer, and Boubacar Silla assisting Yaladian's goal. It's Gasepa with a free kick on the right. It was all started by an Omar assist, of course. We talked about how important he was when we lost to Tottenham. Missing him in big games really does cost us, and it's the only time we don't look confident. 20 minutes gone, it seems to have settled down now, but we lead 3-0 and the tie's almost over. We're back with Gasepa on the left for Liverpool. Gomez delivers to the back post for Beach. It's a feeble header from a long way out. It was never really going to get the power to trouble the keeper. I'll apologise to headphone users as Liverpool have almost levelled up the shots now. I couldn't control that start to the match. I've never seen anything like it. Although to be fair, we did have something similar in the Champions League final last year, so I shouldn't really be too surprised by this side. They're always remarkable and doing their best. 10 minutes to go to the break now. The game seems to be very calm, and it's 3-0 here at Wembley Stadium, and it looks like we're adding another trophy. It's Cura to Omar in the centre circle as we're trying to get our foothold back on this game. Wagner inside to Omar again, and there's two men in the middle if he can find them. Bacanes back to McDonnell as we keep possession. Cater finds Omar and now Andrade. He's still yet to get on the score sheet, of course, as Wagner gets it on the byline. Omar to the back stick to Yaladian. Another wonderful delivery from the Brazilian, and Yaladian's header is straight at the keeper, but it's another shot on target for our side. There's the half-time whistle then. The game's pretty much over, and it was after 7 minutes. All of the selection dilemmas we have paid off. Maddie Cater with a brilliant goal. Yiladian's wasn't bad either. And McDonald started it all with a header, coming from Omar's brilliant corner. We'll tell the lads we're pleased because we can't ask for much more than that performance. I'm not sure what we can go for there. We're really happy with the way things are going. Please keep it up, lads. And everyone's delighted, so hopefully they'll react with good performances. They could make this a historic final by going and winning by 6 or 7. It does seem to have calmed since the first 10 minutes though, and I certainly won't complain at a 3-0 win. Just a quarter of the game to go and we've not seen any more highlights, so we're going to give some players an opportunity here. Gracia will come on for Alex Andrade. Not had the best game, but he hasn't been poor. But Gracia's got a chance to end his goal drought now, and what a time it would be to do it. We've got Bakanes who struggles for fitness usually, so I would like to take him off if possible. And Omar similarly, but Silla's not had the best game. I think we can keep him on for now. So we'll give it 5 more minutes, and then we'll go and make our other 2 changes. Just over 15 to go then, so let's go and make our other changes. Omar's the most recently back from injury, so I'm going to bring Malik Kante on for him. It would be unfair if he didn't get to play in this final, after he's been so good in the first 11 this season. We're also going to bring on Richard Quirk. You know the reason for it, he was our first youth intake star, and of course still having him playing in major finals, picking up trophies and medals. We're really delighted for him and want him to play as many as possible, so Pedro Cura's going to get a rest at right back. Just over 10 minutes left. It's been a really boring second half, but who's going to complain after going 3-0 up? We've sucked the life out of Liverpool in this match. I know it would have been more entertaining if it was close, but it certainly wouldn't have been easier for me. And as manager, you want a cup final to be over in 10 minutes, especially if you come out of the traps like that. Wagner gets to the byline as we have our first real attack in the second half, and he's deflected behind for a corner, and he's headed away as far as Cater. There's 2 over on the right if he can find them, but he's forced all the way back to Silla on halfway, and the highlight ends as it fizzles out, though Silla's got a free kick now. He hits the wall, but it's back to Cater, tries to shoot from distance again, but it goes comfortably wide of the far post. The keeper had that one covered. 5 minutes remaining, and I'm just waiting to pick up another trophy now. The pink and grey suit will get one of its final outings of the series. Of course, if you haven't seen one of the FM20 features for next year, you can choose to wear the club colours. So it looks like that'll happen next year, but let's not worry about that for now. And Singy has scored at centre half. We talked about him coming back after his unhappiness. Torquay Hull's been first choice most of the year, so Nsingi proves us right by scoring as well, and it's an assist for Maddie Cater on this occasion. Costa with a delivery for Liverpool, a free header for Gata who heads over. I would have been a little disappointed to lose the clean sheet, but thankfully that's not the case. Kante has a final shot from the edge of the box, but that one's wide, is not testing the keeper. Pippier will take the goal kick for Liverpool. 20 seconds remaining here at Wembley. It's 4-0 and I'm sure they just want it over as Beach is charging down the right. Into the box to Brancanto, and Singy and Kante combine to clear, and McDonald hoofs it long down to the other end of the pitch, and the whistle will go any seconds. Torquay United fans are absolutely delighted. Look at that. The pink and grey suit is out. The skipper is lifting the trophy. It's a 4-0 victory and a wonderful performance. The first 10 minutes is among the best I've ever seen. A fantastic day out and another trophy in the cabinet. That's 3 for the season now and the first of the ones we've won before. Of course the European Super Cup and the Club World Championship were new ones, but the Carabao Cup is a second time victory for Torquay, and this is where we start to build a legacy. There's still potentially 3 more trophies this year, probably the biggest ones of the season as well. So can we take this form into the League, FA Cup and the Champions League as well? Of course a few of those would be retaining competitions too. I'm really glad we have made it to this stage in the series where we can start to try and dominate and win trophies, and I'm glad we've reached it right at the end as well, as it would have been boring if we'd been doing it for 5 or 6 years, but to try and have that one season where we chase all the trophies really is a fantastic moment for us. So 3 goals in the first 7 minutes and then 1 right at the death as well. A fantastic performance and a treble as we discussed, and we get to lift the Carabao Cup for the second time. A few players were brilliant and I don't want to single anyone out. We'll deal with the press conference off camera, as surely they'll just talk about how good we were. 120,000, not a lot of money. It wasn't one of our priorities, as the board rightly mentioned, but we're never going to complain about winning trophies. And if you do have one of those seasons where you struggle in the league and Champions League, winning a Carabao Cup can buy you some more time. The likes of Sir Alex Ferguson can tell you that, of course. Jose Mourinho always targeted it, so we're certainly not above the competition, and we want to win as much as possible. We lead Torquay to glory. Lee Mansell, a Torquay favourite, talks about how outstanding we are, and that means quite a lot to me, because as well as being a good player for Torquay in the 2000s, he also came through as a youth academy player at Luton Town, the club I obviously support in real life. I've seen him play plenty of times in the flesh. The board are pleased, as we mentioned already, and Singy was good, so why not go and praise him, keep everyone's morale high, and particularly his, as he talked about leaving for Atletico Madrid last year. But surely he can see we're one of the best sides in the world, and he'll stick around and sign a new contract with us. Barcelona moving for Yoladian. Again, we don't want him to go anywhere, but he's out of contract at the end of next season, so if we were staying, that could have been a problem. We qualify for the Europa League, but of course we'll be in the top 4, and the squad payout is 60,000, half of the money we made for the final. The Carabao Cup review just confirms that we won it, Manchester City being the underperformers this season, and MK Dons the biggest overachievers. As I'm recording this episode, MK Dons is actually the last stadium I ticked off, as I'm chasing the 92 at the moment, so hopefully I'll be able to complete that, and MK Dons being a lovely stadium, but unfortunately is not really fit for the club at the moment. Of course, like many football fans, we're not all fond of how they were formed, but we've got to tick them off to complete the 92 club, so I'm glad I was able to do so. Let's go and have a look at the schedule quickly though, see when we're going to be back for the next episode, and I've got one of two things in mind really, either the FA Cup quarter final against Arsenal or the Champions League quarter final second leg. It just depends what sort of ties and draws we get, and of course we've got to get past Dundalk first. So we'll be back at some point, either the end of March or start of April, and as well as showing you a live commentary as always, we'll of course have reaction to our youth intake too. But if you did enjoy this episode and our fantastic start in the Carabao Cup final, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Of course the side is really in our blueprint now, playing fantastic aggressive attacking football, and we came out the traps like an absolute house on fire. Have you ever seen a start to the cup final like that? A brilliant performance, 3 goals in 7 minutes, and it just made the whole episode very relaxing. Apologies to any headphone users that I may have deafened in the early stages there. I hope you all make a full recovery, and I'll try and be a little bit calmer next time. I won't make any promises though, especially with FM20 round the corner. Speaking of FM20, on Saturday we announced the club will be managing in our new One Club story. That'll start at the end of next week when the beta's released, and we'll have 5 episodes a week from that series, so make sure you go and find out who we're managing. A very similar style save to Torquay, starting from the bottom playable league and trying to win the Premier League and Champions League. We'll also have 2 episodes a week from our FM20 beta save. That'll be a 1 season challenge, and make sure you go and find out who we're managing in that one too. We announced that one a couple of weeks ago. For all our FM20 plans videos, you'll be able to see the playlist in the eye above, so make sure you do go and check them out to see what we've got in store on the channel next year. There's also a vote on there so you can help shape some of the content on this channel and pick one of the long-term stories for us. It's really great to be able to let you guys have your say and pick one of the series you'd like to see. A lovely way to give back, and thank you for all your support. I really do appreciate you following my antics. There's also 2 episodes a week from my Cricket 19 career. That's on Tuesday and Saturday at midday. And then on Friday this week we've got the finale from our Snooker 19 career, so come and check out how we're getting on in that one. But a massive thanks for watching this one and your continued support of the channel as always. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time for another important episode as we chase 3 more big trophies in a bid to finish our career in style.